Hello everyone, my name is Tony and welcome to DC Updates. Today we're going to be talking about a three-part series, Crisis on Infinite Earth. Also, a reimagining of the character Harley Quinn from what we used to know. The happy, crazy, psychotic, funny Harley, and changing her whole persona, her whole backstory, and making things kind of a little interesting, Elseworld-ish. We'll also be talking about that super suit. Yes, that's right, the one from James Gunn's new Superman Legacy. And we can get your thoughts about it, and you can let us know in the comments as well. But there are a lot of things to be said about this suit.
Most of you are aware that you live in a reality parallel to many versions of your universe. I've gathered you all to save your worlds.
That does not look good.
You got that right.
Okay, Crisis on Infinite Earth was supposed to be DC Animation's crescendo. This was the ending to an era and, before the new DC regime takes over with DC Studios and everything that they make from this point forward. So, what we got was a build-up, if you will. Starting with Flashpoint, introducing the fact that we can go to these different universes and parallel times and all of that. Flashpoint opened up the door, and then the precursor to the end of this saga came with Apocalypse, right? After Apocalypse, we get Crisis on Infinite Earth to end the series. And let me tell you, the way they started it off, you get those elements from, those past movies in this, setup. In the first one, you get a feel for where we've been. I mean, you can identify with some of these characters from other movies already, and it's like you're there, right? So, nice setup.
The mighty psycho pirate, you've a role to play in the crisis to come.
Okay, now part two, that was the build-up. That's where you got the backstories and it got into the villain and, all this good stuff. And actually, it was one of those things to where it kind of slows down, and that's where you lose people. This the middle sometimes, when that folds, things get kind of rough. But to be fair, this was pretty good. I mean, they did a pretty good job. I think the first one was better. This one is good. I mean, it's the meat of a essential character's backstory, and it propels us to part three.
What have I done?
Welcome to the Bleed. It's a dimension that exists outside the multiverse. Thankfully hidden from the Anti-Monitor. It's not exactly stable. Space and time collide here.
Now part three, that was the closer. And as a closer, it didn't disappoint. The stakes could not have been higher. The intensity, the craziness, the whole way that they tried to wrap things up is the closest that we'll ever get to a respectable ending to an animated universe. Courtesy of DC. This is the old department, the old team going out. This is their bang. And I would say something worth definitely checking out on your own. Now let's talk about the transformation of Harley Quinn. For the Batman Caped Crusader series, animated series, they wanted to do something different with Harley. It kind of reminds me of the Harvey Dent kind of thing. How he would talk to himself and he was two different people. Instead, though, it's going to be that sort of transformation, but she's actually going to turn into Harley Quinn, kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing. And that's where they want to go with her. They want to do that so that they can make this version of Harley like sadistic, like Joker-ish. So, yeah. What do you think? Last but not least, let's talk about this super suit. I mean, there's been many different variations of the super suit throughout the years, and we've gotten a little attached to certain ones along the way. Some people like others better than others, and this and that and the other. So, what do you guys think about this new suit? I mean, because I'm not a big fan of it. I kind of like the Henry Cavill one a little bit. Or even if you go back to Superman Returns, maybe. I don't know. This one, it just isn't hitting with me. But doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. So what do you think about it? And how do you feel about the changing of the guard? The old DC animated department, DC movies, all of that, changing over to the new DC Studios with James Gunn, the new animation department, everything in sync, all that goodness. Let me know, how do you feel about this? Do you think that the DCEU and that universe animation, DC animation, they got their a good goodbye, a good send off, or do you think they got cheated? And this new one, what do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Are you optimistic, or are you pessimistic, or are you kind of like in the middle? You're not knowing exactly. You want to be, cheery and forthgoing, but then you're not exactly sure because we've been through this before. How you feeling? Let us know. And that's it. DC updates. We'll see you next time.